Do you find yourself constantly repeating the same patterns over and over again? You find that no matter what you do, even if you are aware of your patterns, you still end up living out the same old story time and time again. Well, in this episode of Roxy Talks, we're going to discuss exactly why that is. Stay tuned. What is up, my fellow dreamers and soul searchers? Thank you for joining me here for another episode of Roxy Talks, where we discuss confidence, mindset, manifestation, and more. I am Roxy Lee. I'm a mindset coach, and I'm here to help you banish your negative thinking and limiting doubts so you can bring love, clarity, and joy into your life. If you'd like to sign up for one-on-one coaching so we can discuss your specific issues, you can sign up at roxytalks.com. I've also got a brand new version of my Manifest a Specific Person workshop, which you can access right away. Get started overhauling your relationship issues. The link for that, of course, is in the description below. I've also got exclusive merch and podcast. That's all at my website, roxytalks.com. You can also join me on social media. I am on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Now, before we get into this video, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you never miss an update. And if you're feeling generous, please like and share. That helps us reach as many people as possible, and everyone deserves to know that they are in complete control of their reality. Now, working with clients, working with you, the audience, has really helped me hone in on my own understanding of manifestation and how all this stuff might be working. Again, I try not to claim that I know the answers or that I fully understand it, but what I do understand are the patterns that repeat throughout humanity. Let's call it that, right? I've been studying human behavior for a long time. I've always been fascinated by people. That's what I studied in college, was behavioral science. And now I am doing this thing where not only are we studying people and their behaviors, we're looking at what it is they can do about those behaviors and those patterns to actually change and shift the very world they're living in. And it is possible. And I know it's possible because I'm living it myself. If you've watched my channel for a while, you have seen the progression. We are only 6 months in and we have just scratched the surface, okay? There's so much more coming. Things are getting so much more big and amazing and huge, and I'm so excited to bring you all on the journey and share my process so that you can take what works in my world, try it out in your world, adapt it to your life, and use what works for you to your advantage. We want to use the tools and the gifts, things that you might think are bad things, to your favor. For example, if you spiral a lot, good, okay? What we're gonna do now is control the content that you spiral on, and then we spiral on, well, if we move in together, are we gonna get a house? Should we keep this? Are we gonna move there? Do I move to that place? Should we get a condo? I'm not sure. I know that I've always wanted a backyard. You wanna spiral? You spiral in that direction. You spiral in a way that keeps you in the reality that you're working towards. If you're an overthinker or a doomsday prepper, great. Again, what we're going to do is just control the content. Now I want you to overthink about best case scenario. I want you instead to do doomsday prepping, do best case scenario prepping. What are all the different ways that I can think about this specific thing or anything really working out in my favor? You tend to daydream a lot? Great. What we're going to do is control the content, and now I want you to start daydreaming, aka visualizing what it is that you want to experience instead of playing a bunch of pictures and movies in your mind of stuff that you'd rather not experience. Because that's the issue. The issue is not, can we manifest or can't we? Are we good or are we not? The issue is, are you aware of what's going on in your mind at any given moment? And beyond that, if you are doing something that doesn't align with the reality you'd like to create for yourself, are you shutting it down in the moment and replacing that thought, idea, fear, worry, 3D circumstance with something else in your mind that does match the reality you want to go to? That's the kind of patterns we want to start creating. That's the kind of habits we want to develop. We want to make ourselves use what we do naturally. Spiral, overthink, learn habits, believe lies, believe stuff that's not necessarily true. All of the things that make us malleable, the things that make us moldable and changeable and shiftable, we're going to use those to our advantage. We know that it only takes like 3 weeks to make a habit of something. Great! So what we're going to do is make a habit of using this process to the best of our ability in every given moment, on every thought that we can find, and never, give up on ourselves. We are going to be relentless about controlling our thoughts and ultimately controlling our lives. We're going to be relentless about paying attention and making sure that if something's going on in our mind, we are in control of what that thing is, or the way we're entertaining it, the way it's playing out in our mind. Now, I've said before that everything boils down to two things: awareness and discipline. The awareness, what is on your mind in any given moment, and whatever that subject is, it's fine if you're thinking about it, as long as you're thinking about it in a way that matches with the new reality that we're working towards. If you're thinking about it in a way that is confirming or affirming the current version that you have, you can be sure that you are staying in your current reality. In that very moment, you are continuing to manifest more of what you've already got for yourself. Now, how does this relate to our patterns? Well, patterns, what we call patterns, these habits, these ideas, your belief system that's deeply ingrained in you. What that really is essentially programming. Working with so many people, I've learned quite a few things, but one thing for sure that I have realized is that whoever made human beings, whoever created us, whatever created us, we only run a certain amount of programs. There is a finite amount of situations we as human beings are capable of experiencing, okay? Now, each and every person on this planet is born into a family, a situation, whatever. We start where we start, okay? And the world around us has kind of already been set, right? We've already been brought into a situation we have zero control over in the moment when we get there. And for the next 18 years maybe, depending on where you live, depending on your situation, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter, sometimes a lot shorter. You take on responsibility way too early. Sometimes it's way later. You never really get a hold of it. Either way, what happens to us in childhood is that we are sponges. Right? This is our psychology side talking, okay? We know that children soak up tons of information, right? The ages 0 to 7 are our most formative, influential years as far as change goes to the body and the mind. We do the most growth and shifting between 0 to 7 than we ever do in any period of our lives. And coincidentally, those are also the years where we are pretty much completely out of control of our life. We are at the mercy of the adults in our lives, and we start building our idea of what life is based on the information given to us by our parents, our guardians, whoever we live around, whatever situation we're in. We are soaking up all of the information and drawing conclusions about what life is and what that means for us, who we are in relation to the rest of the world. As children, we don't understand what's going on around us. We're seeing, we're witnessing, we're hearing, we're feeling, and we're making assumptions. We are deciding what the world is, again, based on what we experience around us. Now, the problem is we're also manifesting. We're also being creative beings in those moments. And what we do in those years is build our idea of what planet Earth is. And then what happens is that you end up living in that world for the rest of your life until you understand law of attraction or manifesting, or you just kind of figure out one day, or you understand intrinsically that it is actually your own story and awareness that is creating your world. So where does that bring us now? Well, the thing is, remember how I said there's only a certain amount of situations that humans can encounter or go through? What I equate it to is there's only so many programs. We only have a finite amount of programs that humans can experience, can run. We only have a certain amount of programs we can run, okay? And there are things like victim narrative, martyrdom, caretaker, doormat, peacemaker, nuisance, a bother, somebody valueless, right? These ideas of who we are and what we are capable of receiving in the world. Then as you live your life, you experience things that impress upon you, things that start to fit the narrative that you are creating for yourself. You start to see patterns. You start to be let down. You start to experience things you don't like. You start to develop fears, insecurities, worries, doubts, not wanting to experience the bad things, wanting to fit in, wanting to please people, wanting to be a good girl or a good boy, or needing attention, choosing bad behavior just to get eyes on us, being validated, being seen. Then you have even deeper levels of it when you experience negative things like tragedy. The other shoe is going to drop. The rug's going to be pulled out from underneath me. We have these stories about witnessing our parents' relationship. Love doesn't last. People always cheat. People don't get along. Love is hard. Or maybe you had a great childhood and you saw amazing examples of loving figures and now no one's living up to that. And I'm just pulling a bunch of random stuff. These are really basic and generic things that I hear all day. But what happens is we start experiencing these things and we start stacking them up. We start stacking our chips of negative experiences. And we do this with positive stuff too, but hey, that's not what's causing our issues in our lives, right? So we're focusing on the things that cause us the problems, which are these ideas of what we're capable of. I always say a cycle starts with one instance, one time of being like, ooh, I didn't like that. I hope that never happens again. Guess what? Now you've planted a cycle seed. Now you are more inclined to experience something like that because you have put it into your story, you've reacted to it, you remember it, you're on guard, you're ready, but not wanting it, right? This might happen again. And then if it does, oh, there's that thing again. I knew that was going to happen. There it goes. Now that's what happens to me. Things like people always leave, or 3 months, that's the end of a relationship. There's something's going to fall apart. 90 days and we're done. Clock is ticking. Why aren't you breaking up with me yet? Or is someone else better than me? Is someone else going to get my person? I'm not good enough. People don't respect me. They don't value me. People walk all over me. I give and I give and I give. I give so much and no one ever gives back. All of these stories I hear over and over and over and over again. Different ways, same story. Different experience, same programming, okay? Bringing us back to full circle. Here's the issue, okay? You run these programs, these ideas that you've been running your entire life. Beliefs are just thoughts you've thought for a while. They're habitual thoughts. You only believe something just because you've been telling yourself that long enough. It sounds true to you, right? And that's why we want to start changing the lie we're telling ourselves, controlling the content, so that we can be lying to ourselves, if that's what you want to call it, about stuff that actually works for us. So you have these programs running. Let's say, for an example, you've got victim narrative. We'll pop that one in. You've got other shoe is going to drop. Okay. We've got martyrdom a little bit, right? Caretaker and martyrdom go really well with each other. Add a little bit of doormat in with that. And now let's say maybe one of your parents left. We had a divorce at a young age and life was great at first and then everything changed and it sucked. Okay, so now we have a little bit of love doesn't last. People might leave in our lives. Other shoe is going to drop. Rug is going to get pulled out from underneath us, something like that. Okay, now I visualize like a Star Trek, all these like literal like programs. You're pulling them out and you're putting them into the center slot. Now they're all going into your hard drive. All these little pieces I just mentioned, okay? Now, every manifestation or situation or relationship or person or idea or fear or worry, whatever, that you experience gets funneled through that filter, okay? Now, you have a breeding ground for people to leave you out of the blue, to have relationships just end out of nowhere because love doesn't last. The rug's going to get pulled out from underneath us. Maybe we're not allowed to have good things for very long. So if something starts to get good, that's going to trip my, something good's happening. What happens if I lose it thoughts? What if someone else gets it? What if it's better? What if they don't like me anymore? What if they don't find me interesting? What if they don't think I'm whatever? All those things that go through our minds. We start allowing the doubts because if our patterns have shown us anything, it's to be on alert at day 89 because, hey, 3 months in, something's got to happen. And I hear all the time people say things like, they just had to move away. They don't even know why they want to break up with me. They just can't be with me. They have no reason. And I tell them, the reason is you. The reason is because something's always got to pull the things away. Something always has to happen to remind us that no, love is hard. Love gets taken away. These things don't last. We have to perform for others to get their love and attention because they might leave. We need to be on our best behavior just in case they might leave one day. And then you have any which way that a couple of these or all these programs or just one can be run, can be played out in your world. And that's why things repeat. And that's why things escalate. Because after a while of experiencing the same old thing, it doesn't hurt as bad anymore. But guess what? The program's still running. So something else has to come to pull the rug out from underneath you. Something bigger and scarier and worse and has got to happen because the story still remains. This is why awareness and discipline are the key ingredients to beating your limiting thoughts, your doubts, all that stuff that's deep within you, your patterns, your cycles, because you need to know that those programs are running. And you can uninstall them, or should I say you can reinstall new programming, you can upgrade. But the problem is there can't be no programming running. There can't be no thoughts in there, right? We never have nothing going on in there. So if that's the case, If you are not on top of the new programming and making sure you're writing that code every single day and every single moment and reminding yourself of who you actually are, you can be sure that that other code is eventually going to slip through. If there's no one at the gate, we don't know who's in the yard. I'm going to link my video above that will help you identify your limiting beliefs. This will help you get started on figuring out your patterns and understanding where and why you are manifesting these things for yourself over and over again. Coincidentally, my Manifest a Specific Person workshop is all about this. The first couple modules are all this, breaking down all these things so you can find the root of your pattern. And now we know where that thing is located. We can listen for it. We can keep our eyes out for it. We don't want to be on high alert, but we do want to know that if a weed pops up in my garden in that part of the land, that plot of land, I'm just going to take my weed whacker real quick and just boop, bop it down real fast before it grows into something bigger. So if you are experiencing something over and over and over again, you don't know why, rest assured that it is because you have some sort of program patterned in. But that's okay. It doesn't mean that it is like that forever for you and you will never recover. This is how you take it back. You listen for that stuff. You listen for the energy that matches those thoughts and those ideas, and you make it your mission to shut those thoughts down in every single moment and replace them with the new thought, the new belief that we are installing, the new programming. Okay, that's your process. We shut down the old and we refill it with the new every single time we catch them in our minds, and we are going to be paying attention so that we can catch them. We're going to be living our lives, but we're also going to have a little bit of a baby monitor going on, a little bit of an ear out, paying attention, watching what we actually say in any given moment, not allowing ourselves to tell a little truth just because it's easy. That's what keeps you in your old reality, so don't do that to yourself. Pay attention to what you're saying and do not allow yourself to tell a story that does not match the new reality that you are creating. That's how you get everything you've ever wanted. So I want you to comment down below, I am constantly growing and evolving. I am constantly growing and evolving. And this is to remind yourself and also cover up those old limiting beliefs with a nice little blanket that reminds yourself, hey, I don't need to think that way anymore. That's not my life if I don't choose it. In tomorrow's video, I'm going to talk about exactly how and why we want to make a habit of not listening to your thoughts if you don't want to. How do we choose which thoughts get absorbed and which ones don't? Stay tuned for tomorrow's video and I'll link it above. Check back tomorrow if it's not there yet. And if you'd like to get started identifying these patterns and figuring out how to stop them right this very moment, sign up for my Manifest a Specific Person workshop. The link is below. Module 1 takes you into this right away. This is the first place we start identifying all of these things so we know where to work from. It is crucial and people are having amazing results. I know that it's working and I know you will love it. So if you're interested, sign up for the Manifest a Specific Person workshop at my website, Roxy Talks. You can also sign up for one-on-one coaching so we can discuss exactly how you can break your own patterns. We'll get right to the heart of exactly what it is that you specifically are doing. You can sign up for one-on-one coaching at my website, roxytalks.com. I've also got exclusive merch and podcasts. That's of course at my website, roxytalks.com, and the link is below. You can also join me on social media. I'm on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And don't forget to join my Facebook group, Black Moon Society. It's a great community for like-minded people who are helping each other manifest. Here on the Roxy Talks channel, I go live every Monday at noon-ish PST for Q&A, and I've got brand new videos out every Tuesday through Friday. So make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification so you never miss an update. And if you're feeling generous, please like and share. That helps us reach as many people as possible, and everyone deserves to know that they are in complete control of their reality. We're all raising our vibrations together. You have the power. I believe in you.